Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Gundam Federation for Zeon. I'm Dan Slott, and Doc Ock did nothing wrong.
Damn, I was wondering what we were gonna see. I had this whole thing planned out originally where I was gonna like reference it, but I thought, you know what? No, what I'll leave with is I'll say, man, it sure is a strange coincidence that Vladimir Putin's political rival accidentally on purpose got poisoned by Vladimir Putin, and then talk about Dan Slott and his wrong opinions.
You know what? Yeah, let's get the heavy thing out of the way first.
What's there to say? Like Vladimir Putin very blatantly assassinated someone again, or
Who
attempted
would
to
have thought? Who could have
assassinate.
seen
He's
that
not actually
coming?
dead. I don't think he's just in hospital with poison. So he's probably die next time. Vladimir
Who
Putin
would have
doesn't
thought?
take two, and needs two shots.
No one could have foreseen the idea of Vladimir Putin trying to assassinate somebody.
I just remember there was an interview with a guy who was another like political opponent slash detractor from Vladimir Putin, and like during the interview, he even said, "I fear for my life because I think Vladimir Putin will kill me." And I really hope Vladimir Putin doesn't kill me. And then, like a week later, he was dead under mysterious circumstances. So I'm not
Who
saying
would have thought?
I'm not saying he did it. I'm just heavily implying he did.
Chances of it not being that he did it are increasingly low.
Just seems odd to me. But anyway, yeah. Back to Dan Slott, which we didn't talk about last week when it was. I mean, it was more relevant like a bunch of weeks ago because that was when.
Yeah, we kind of forgot about it. We were gonna talk about it like a week or two ago, and we just kind of forgot. And Trayman brought it back up, and funny enough, Spider-Man's kind of fresh on my mind right now because of a dumb action figure thing, so I didn't forget. But I did have my intro planned for it, where it was going to be like, "Hi, I'm Dan Slott," and that I had that planned like since you sent me the image. I was like, "That's how I want to intro. I want to be the one who does the stupid intro this time."
You want to be Dan Slott, which I don't even think Dan Slott wants to be Dan Slott.
No, I think he does want to be Dan
Hence why he
Slott.
sexually
No, Dan
identifies
Slott wants to be Doc Ock. We talked about
Yeah,
this.
apparently.
a balding, fatty, possibly Nazi.
Hey! You said fat. That means you're
Also,
even worse.
he might possibly be a former Nazi scientist.
It's like
Because
all the
he
people.
was very
It's
German.
it's like all the people that want to be Rick from Rick and Morty. Like, man, I wish I was this jackass that was smarter than everyone. Because I am smarter than everyone, or at least they think they are.
But for the audience, award-winning writer, that's not a joke, Dan Slott, he was the one who was behind the Superior Spider-Man run.
I mean,
Now, some of you might think, and even I remember at one point we talked about it, we were like, you know what, the ending of that was pretty good, because it's like, oh, Peter was actually always the superior one. So that was a Marvel mandate.
yeah.
He actually wanted to go even longer with Superior Spider-Man, and believed that Doc Ock was the Superior Spider-Man. All because Peter called him fat. That meant he was even worse.
No, I'll give Slot the benefit of the doubt and say that award-winning, like his run on She-Hulk was actually really good. So I think it's just he doesn't get Spider-Man, or he doesn't like Spider-Man, which
Well,
is
yeah,
kind
it's
of
where he doesn't like Spider-Man and he really likes Doc Ock because he identifies with Doc Ock more than he ever could with Spider-Man.
which,
As opposed to in, say, She-Hulk, when there was nobody there he could really identify with, so he just wrote the story as, a story.
like,
It's always a bad thing when the writers start to self-insert into things because that's just going to end badly.
and especially when they choose.
Or
keywords.
like when a writer self-inserts himself into Powerpuff Girls and has one of the Powerpuff Girls have a crush on them.
Or a writer self-inserts himself into their own video game and has sex with someone.
Yeah, there's that too.
Man, writers should just stop doing that.
Yeah, there's only we've mentioned this before. There's only the only acceptable self-inserts are the ones where you blow yourself up or make yourself a goober, or you make yourself a cat.
Or Nabashin.
That just or Nabushin.
Get
Nabushin's the only one of those where they're because he's a cool guy, but he's also the worst at the same time.
He's a joke. He's a joke cool guy.
Yeah.
That's the reason it works, because it's a joke. Same with why Rakudo can get in. Because he just dies all the time. But yeah, it's like his point is, well, it all started because one idiot on Twitter, and I can say idiot because this is wrong. Say, I don't like that Spider-Man is mean to people, and it's like, how can you say you liked? And it actually sort of, a lot of this discussion is going to stem from the fact that today I was enraged because I was out in the town, buying stuff. I was, socially distancing and I had a mask on and everything. But then, like, I saw this child had a hat on that said gamer, and I realized how much I hate that term now.
Right?
Because it's just
And I know for a fact when I was a teen, I had like something that said like gamer on it.
yeah. but it's like got so many more. It's got so much worse in terms of connotations and the things associated with it. And it's not even just like actual cringiness of the whole like of the people who like say gamers like unironically. It's also the people who say it ironically are just as bad to me now.
Fair.
So it's like
kind of like the Dark Souls of why thing.
yeah. Even if you're saying the joke, even if you're like saying it ironically, it's like yeah, but you're still saying it, so you're just as guilty.
Yeah, Medi likes to do those a lot, where he's like, haha, it's the thing because he knows it pisses me off.
So yeah, like the whole argument. But I don't know. I don't really understand how you could claim to like Spider-Man, but then like not like that accurate about him, because that's been a core tenement to Spider-Man. And the only reason I can think of is it's the whole they only know the MCU version of the Spider-Man proper, really.
Right, where he doesn't do anything really. He just kind of exists.
Here's the thing with the whole bad take on Spider-Man, and why having Doc Ock call Peter Parker a bully is not just stupid, but like
disingenuous
and actively retarded. I'm gonna drop the R bomb for this one.
Oh wow, we're getting savage here.
Because you know what? Here's the thing. Even if you somehow say that Dan Slott, award-winning comic book writer, only is familiar with Doc Ock in terms.
By the way, I feel like we should always say his name with award-winning comic book writer because it just makes it funnier.
Yeah, award-winning comic book writer Dan Slott is only aware of Dr. Octopus from like the most recent most recent adaptations in pop culture. So let's see. In the hit movie Spider-Man 2, his hubris and his arrogance leads to an accident that damages him, kills his wife, endangers the entire city, and then because he's so and because there's evil tentacles and whatever manipulating him, but also because he's so egotistical, he doesn't possibly think maybe I made a mistake, and just does it again, but bigger, and is even more of a threat to the city. Okay, let's go past that. What about in the hit Spider-Man PS4 game that we even did on this channel? Go check it out.
Yeah, which, by the way, is a really good game. It's probably one of the best Spider-Man games created.
Yeah, that Octopus unleashed virus on New York, which, have you seen the world in, like, the last 6 months, Dan?
Yeah, honestly, I won't lie. When we started playing Spider-Man, like, didn't COVID start, like, around that time?
Yeah, so...
And I won't lie, there was part of me just kind of, like, shuffling around in my seat a little bit, like, ooh.
Yeah, unleashed a killer plague on New York. Man, that could never happen. Ha 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 ha. Oh. So the fact that we obviously so then that is probably one of the biggest, sort of most notable adaptations of Doc Ock. And also, one thing I like about PS4 Spidey is it pretends it's going to do the whole the tentacles of the evil things, but no, Octavius is just an asshole. Like,
yeah, he just went crazy.
That's kind of the thing with Spider-Man villains, though, is a lot of them are like have accidents, but they're also just assholes. Like, they're not victims of circumstance. They're just not. They're just jerks. So, like, okay, take Electro, right? Electro games.
Actually, real quick though, I will say for the ones that are, Peter does legitimately try to help them.
Yeah, like the one, which is the lizards, across every adaptation. That's like that's how the lizard story is. Everyone else is like more mixed bag. But yeah.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. So all the characters who are just like victims of circumstance or put upon by pressures that they don't like the world has failed them. Yeah, fair enough. But like, okay, what about Kraven? What's Kraven's thing? Oh right, he's just an asshole who likes to hunt things for sport, including people. And Doc Ock's thing is he got superpower. Is he got his giant tentacles and decided that, well, now the rules that apply to me because I'm so much better than everyone else, and fuck them. Like, that's not me simplifying it, that's literally his origins. They're just...
Yeah.
Like, Electro got his powers from an accident, and you know what he did? He just turned to crime. He didn't have to, but he did it. Because he's an asshole.
It's what he chose to do.
Because they're assholes. They fucking hate this argument people have, because people have this very similar bad take with Batman, where they say, oh, Batman's rich, he can solve so much of Gotham's problems. You know what? No, he couldn't, because, hey, guess what?
You know what's funny? He does actually do a lot of things to try and...
all of that lot, but guess what? That doesn't stop his particular brand of supervillains, because Joker doesn't do shit because he's impoverished, because he's poor.
He does it because he thinks it's funny.
Because he's an asshole. Like, he's a murderous clown who's killed, like, thousands of people. Like, this isn't the person that societal reform fixes. He's just a jerk. And what about all the other people? Like, fucking Penguin, he doesn't care. He's not hard done by life, apart from the one movie. Like, he's just an asshole. Like, Two-Face, yeah, sympathetic, but he's also an asshole. That's the bizarre thing with superhero things, is that people do these bad takes that just kind of works on the basis that the villains aren't all just sort of monsters. Because, like, I literally just describing...
Like, there's usually the villains that aren't monsters are the minority. There are ones that like, a lot of heroes do have a villain who, you know, is, like, circumstance or other things, but usually the majority are like, I'm going to burn down an orphanage! Why?
Like,
for fun!
Like, one of the best sort of, like, single shot, like, Doc
Fuck
Ock,
this mission.
Like, one of the best sort of, like, single shot Doc Ock storylines is that one time where he tried to poison the Daily Bugle's, like, ink and hold the entire city of New York to ransom by basically just saying, oh yeah, you'll all die. It's like, that's not the actions of a man who's been screwed over by society. That's the actions of a man who's an asshole. And that's why Dan Slott's argument is stupid, because he's trying to, like, pretend that fucking Dr. Octopus, who has killed and maimed for incredibly petty and pathetic reasons, for nothing else than he is egotistical. Like, the only like Doc Ock, the only reason he loses half the time is because he's so up his own arse that he thinks he's smarter than he is, and he thinks everyone is dumber than they are. Like, Spider-Man's not smarter than he is, it's just Spider-Man's not stupid enough to underestimate Octopus. Like,
honestly, one of my favorite bits, though, in the PS4 Spider-Man is when Peter realized, like, yeah, it's not the fucking tentacles, it's just him.
He's just been playing me.
And he has that moment, and he's just like, you knew?
You knew? Yeah,
like, that is honestly, like, one of my... That's, like, my favorite moment in that game. It's so good.
You see, it's funny to reference Metal Gear Solid there, because that was Decoy Octopus saying you knew.
Oh.
Like, you know, they're both octopus.
It's like poetry, so they rhyme.
They're like octopi, cephalopods. But anyway, yeah, so it's like Dan Slott had a stupid bad take, and it's like, this would have been fine. Like, when I first read the tweet, I thought, oh, he's just being sarcastic, like, surely.
And then I basically had to confirm to you, no, he wasn't.
No, Sabo confirmed.
Oh, Sabo also confirmed?
Yeah. I said I knew, when I posted to you about it, I knew by that point he was being legit, but when I first read it, I thought, that's a sarcastic, I mean, that's just a sarcastic response. Oh, he's being serious. Oh no. Like, I understand people like the villains, and that's fine, but it feels odd to, like...
Yeah, I mean, literally, like I mentioned the Spider-Man figure thing. Like, they're releasing a, you know, the classic line one. One of the things that they have in that line, because I've been wanting one for a while, is a classic-style Green Goblin. I ordered that. I like Green Goblin. Green Goblin's cool. I like Venom. Venom is not a hero! Well, usually... sometimes, depending on who he...
I prefer not to talk about those points in history.
I feel like when Spider-Man's involved, he's always the antagonist, or should be.
Except for PlayStation 1 Spider-Man. They were friends, sort of. Maybe.
That was very deep into the Lethal Protector one.
It's like it's also like far enough into the game where they're like, you know, you've been played, you idiot, by yourself, but you've been played. Oh, shit! I don't think of it that way. It's like, yeah, you didn't.
Like that Venom is out of character in a lot of ways because he's just really stupid, but I still enjoy it.
That's what makes him one of the best sort of non-villainous Venom adaptation.
Ooh, can I get your autograph?
I do love PS1 Spidey. I do think it's like,
really good.
It is probably like what I would call the best written Spider-Man video game ever made.
Yeah, you know what? Like, even though Venom's slightly out of character with him being dumber, it's not egregious like the Mary Jane thing, which is the only thing that holds back the PS4
it's the
one.
Thing where, it's not like a perfect one-to-one adaptation of stuff, but it's like everything flows so well, and it's not like trying to beat you over the head for something you don't want.
Right, like literally Mary Jane is the only problem with the PS4's one's writing. Literally the only problem. If Mary Jane was written better, it would be perfect.
But
Or Mary
yeah.
Jane.
It's like it's like as I said, it's fine to like and sympathize and even sympathize with villains, but it needs to always be this sort of understanding that they are villains, and even a villain with a point is still generally sort of like notable because they go too far.
Right.
And Doc Ock is definitely not a villain with a point. Just to clarify, he's an asshole. I'll
There
keep
seems to be
saying
a lot
he's
of
an
that lately, of people that are like, man, the villains are better than the heroes because, you know,
because they're edgier and they're fighting the power.
because they want to kill half the population and there's too many people on the planet.
Well,
We have to kill them,
Or,
don't you see?
or because they want to start a huge race war, and we need that.
do we though? I feel like
I mean, that's what the Killmongers fans seem to think.
all right, Black Hitler.
Oh
Black
god,
Hitler.
Killmonger fans.
Black Hitler. I forgot about him.
Yeah.
Ah, bad Magneto.
I think we sort of.
I don't mean bad as in bad guy. I mean bad as in.
Just because you're a bad guy doesn't mean you're a bad guy. But he is a bad guy.
Yeah. No, they're both bad guys. I just mean like badly
he's
written.
He's a racist, genocidal monster, and I think anyone who sympathizes with him in that way
It's questionable.
should really take a look at your priorities. Even the film, like I don't care for Black Panther. I don't hate it. It's not a film
I find it just kind of meh.
I find it more funny now for other things that are out from it than anything. Like, it was a fine movie. It's not a movie I have any intention to go back to now. I saw it once. Yeah, I saw those PS2 graphic fight scenes. I got out of it. You know, that's the man. That sure was a movie that happened and didn't mean anything. Could have just skipped this one.
Who would have thought a Gelgoog shooting an old ass prototype GM would end in a one-shot kill?
They
Who
are
would've thought?
Gelgoogs.
Finally, I can spam the Gelgoog.
Now
Now the power is
It's
mine.
become the thing that you hate, Dan. But yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. They called me fat. So any atrocity I commit is fine.
That guy is because the good guy is a bully.
Exactly. He called me fat.
I mean, it would be one thing, and I kind of didn't mention this part because this sparked other debate amongst my other friends who are less comic book inclined, where one of them said, "Oh man, how dare a comic book make or challenge your morality or make these or deal with these sort of actual questions?" And I'm like, you've never read a comic book because I can literally list you 10 books right now that are all about moral ambiguity and the questions of vigilantism. It's just the classic case of people picking an argument with you on a subject that you're more of an expert on than they are. So how does this go anywhere? Because then you say, "Oh, I'm talking about the movies." And it's like, you've not seen any of the movies either. How you make it? I mean, I should stress that this guy is a roommate of Sam's, so. And it is fundamentally the same argument I have with Sam about Jurassic Park, where he says, "Man, I just think it's a bad idea to have a dinosaur theme park," and it's like, guess what the movie's about, jackass?
Also, I'm just saying it could definitely happen in real life. I mean, look, we can't even get people to wear fucking masks for a pandemic.
Right, man.
I used to be like, man, this is stupid. Who would ever do this? And then I was like, you know, we can't even get people to wear a goddamn piece of cloth over their face.
Yeah.
So, you know, it could definitely happen. Jurassic Park could 100% happen if we have the power to clone dinosaurs back to life.
Yeah, well, I think dinosaurs should have a second shot.
Yeah, we've had a good run.
We
Yeah.
tried.
We tried.
I mean, worst case, we end up just creating Get a Robo, and I mean, that's a win-win.
Yeah, unless we make Armageddon, in which case I don't think anyone really wins in Armageddon.
Well, that's the invaders. That's not the dinosaurs.
Well, you know what can happen with genetics and Get Arrays. Get Arrays.
Yeah, it's true.
Get Arrays are just the anime equivalent of the Speed Force.
Actually, you know what's funny? I was playing Super Robot Wars with some super into mech stuff friends, and they were asking me what's a good starting point for Gundam and stuff like that. And I started recommending to one of them Gurren Lagann Get a Robo Armageddon, and I gave them a little bit, and they're like, "So what are Get Arrays?" And I'm like, "Get Arrays do whatever the fuck they want." But I said, like, the basic idea is that they're supposed to, like, evolve things quickly with it. But I'm gonna be real with you, they do whatever the fuck they feel like.
The Speed Force, but anime.
It's true.
I guess
Same thing with Mazing
I
power.
actually might have a
Or photon energy.
I might have a series that is actually really good to get. I've got a couple of recommendations. One of them is a series I'm watching now, which is called Die Guard.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm
my
actually really
advice.
liking. I'm really liking Die Guard so far. So basically,
I don't think I've heard of Die Guard.
Alright, so Die Guard is about this a kaiju attacks like Japan, and they build a giant robot called Die Guard to fight it off. But by the time Die Guard is built, the kaiju's gone, and then it just kind of sits around and is basically a glorified Gundam statue for about 15 years, until a kaiju attacks and like 3 office workers from the company that owns Die Guard have to jump in and pilot it to fend off against the monsters.
That's actually pretty fucking
And
good.
basically the whole series is it's a super robot series but with physics. So like there's no rocket punch. So in order to do a rocket punch, they have to rip the arm off and throw it.
So it's making me think right now because I've been watching Pat LaBar of like the first episode when Noah's labor gets his arm removed, and she when she comes back pissed off, her way of rocket punching is literally just throwing the busted arm at the guy.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what happens in Die Guard. And also,
That's great.
And also, like whenever they want to do anything, they have to fill out like 14 different forms for like insurance and claim.
So it's basically super. Okay, so it's Super Robots versus meets Pat LaBar basically.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. I love it already.
Yeah.
I'll take 7.
I'll send you the link that I have to it because it's a relatively easy link. But I did actually find out it has a DVD release in this country, so I bought that.
Oh, nice.
So I did actually buy it because I'm really liking Die Guard, and I think that's actually, no joke, a pretty good way because it's very, like I look at it and it reminds me a lot of Gundam, but instead of instead of boobs, it's paperwork.
Yeah, basically.
There's basically none. Like nothing in terms of fan service. It's just fucking office people. It's like, have you ever seen a Gretzico?
Yes, I love a Gretzico.
It's like a Gretzico, but they're normal people, not animal people. And instead of heavy metal, it's robot fight.
I'm fine with that. When you said Godon, you piqued my interest just because I figured everything. I didn't right away go to boobs, but I do like Godon.
No, but it's
like
really that,
good.
and it's very Pacific Rim in terms of its like attitudes to things. But it's more quote-unquote real than GoldenEye is. But yeah, I think Die Guard is a pretty good series to get people in, just because it's be very familiar. Martian Success in the Desco is one I actually also recommend. As an entry point.
Just always preface it with, "Hey, don't watch the movie."
Well, I wait to see what they think of the show, and then I say if they should watch the movie or not. They'll watch the movie. Because some people it doesn't mesh with them, and that's fine. Other like good starting next series.
I remember one friend of mine started watching Nadesco, and they're like, "Hey, this is really good," and I real quick was like, "Don't watch the movie," and they're like, "Too late, I'm already gonna watch the movie."
I had one friend who also I got to watch Nadesco, and he really liked it, and I was like, "Don't watch the movie," and then I explained why I shouldn't watch the movie. It's like, I won't watch the movie then. So I spared him. Instead, he just likes the Desco. He thinks it ends on the super happy-go-lucky. Everyone wins ending, not the misery. And you've now experienced some of that misery.
It's fine because they fix it.
Yeah, it just ends. Fucking Martians. Oh,
it ends. Eureka's back. Eureka's back. Everything's fine.
Oh, what is that fucker's name? The main villain of Prince of Darkness. Hokushin or something?
The guy with 2 eye colors.
Yeah,
that guy.
weird.
I don't remember his
He's
name.
not the main villain though. He's just some like.
Yeah,
dude
he's
who
just
wants to
this
fight
evil
Akito.
ace pilot. He's this evil ace pilot who fights Akito throughout the movie, but
I don't think there's actually a main. I guess the main villain is like the guy responsible for the movement, but I don't think they actually do anything to him, or even like actually encounter him.
there's no encounters.
In Super Robot Wars, he gets arrested.
Well, they do that to everyone. They're good. They're good about fixing the loose ends like that.
But yeah, Zygarde.
Like the Super Robot Wars version of the story is fine. But the movie, no.
Well, I will say it does help that Super Robot Wars version is an ending, whereas Prince of Darkness was made on the basis it was going to be the first of a trilogy.
And then they never made that trilogy.
Yeah, and then the next two never came out. So it's the you don't know how the movies would have actually ended if they'd have actually gone ahead. So
I'm actually curious. So did it just bomb that bad, and that's why they never made the movies?
a bit of that, bit of also economic crash at the time.
Yeah.
At that time.
Oh, okay.
You have to remember, like,
One of the economic crashes hit around that time.
well, this would have been like early.
When did Nadesco come out?
Like, I'll do that.
So I figured it was a 2000s anime.
And the Desco.
No, that was late 90s.
Yeah, and the
Oh, was
Desco
it?
is 90s. You can tell because it's like traditionally animated, not digitally. I think it is. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, it is.
Yeah, I don't really know.
Yeah, 96. It's 96 to 97. So this was.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They had an
when the
economic
bubble-
crash around the
that's
time. You're
when
right.
The bubble period had sort of burst, and
Like it was teetering, but that's when it really hit.
and then and then I think it's a combo. Prince of Darkness was not a massive success because also they had like 2 games on the Sega Saturn. It was on the Sega Saturn. So
That's true. They also tried to
did like a cross promotion thing.
multi.
It's weird how
multimedia
big
do it, and
it's
didn't
kind of
work so
weird
well.
how big Nadesco is, and yet how not big it is. It's weird.
It's that thing where it was like big in the niche circles. It appeals to outside of Japan. So, and what unfortunately with niche circles is they are niche.
Because it's like in every Super Robot Wars, it looks like.
Yes and no. They mostly just want to. They mostly use it because they need capital ships for things.
And the Nadesco itself is a really good capital ship.
Yeah, not just also like a lot of mech series don't have capital ships because they're like just on rando ships that aren't worth.
Especially if it's like a Super Robot. A lot of Super Robots don't really have something like that.
Yeah, they just hang out. So that's what usually why.
I know that I know in V they turned the dragon into a ship.
Oh, Shingero, yeah. That's just because it's size class.
Yeah,
Weird.
anything.
Because you could either do that version of it, or what a lot of them do, where they just do the biped version, and they went for the full-on battleship.
Yeah. Well, that's because V and P are the only ones that like are the first ones to like do like shine spark and such. Really, fully. Because it's only really been like Z from like recently that they've doubled down on doing Armageddon. Most of the time they just did Get a Robo Classic.
TV. Yeah, and then
Or
suddenly
new,
they're like,
get
we
a
don't want
robot.
to do TV anymore, so we better do. Well, it's because people wanted Armageddon for years, so they put Armageddon into Z2, and then they just reused those assets since then.
So
Yeah, actually, I saw people joke about how they've used the same rendition of Heats, but hey, I'll be fair, it's a really good rendition of Heats.
this is a really good song.
Heats is really good, yeah. I
Yeah,
love
they're,
Heats.
They're really lazy about reusing the soundtrack too. I mean, they've been using the original generation soundtrack from the PS2 game that came out in 2008. They're still using it in the games now, unless they need to make a new song, because the new songs they have to make, because some characters weren't in that game, and the new songs they have to make are notably significantly better quality than the stuff that they've been using for 12 years.
You can tell when one of them's older, because, like, for example, you can tell, like, the Die Turn one is ancient, because the trumpet just sounds so stanky.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's also because I think Daitan and Zambot you like encode some of the original score.
That too.
Because
yeah,
also
that-
it might be done because like they're very clearly using stock voice clips for Daitan and Zambot.
Right.
Because I mean, just hear how different in voice in like, sound quality whenever Banjo and
Yeah.
the kids speak versus
Yeah, because they give them, and they also give them that reverb thing.
yeah.
Oh, the reverb.
I'm like fairly certain that's because they are like stock sound clips that they're just.
No, that's not. No, that's not it. It's so back in the day, like they used to give reverb to a lot of the Super Robot characters because many of them were like in their 50s by the time they finally got to record. Their voices weren't quite as strong as when they actually did the shows, so they started doing it to give them a little more punch, I guess. But then if they gradually started, because like in Alpha 3, I think if you piloted the Super Robot, you had a reverb, even if you were Guy from Gal Gaigar, who obviously,
Who still has it in T? He still has the reverb in T because
Yeah.
I've seen some of the attacks
That
in T for him.
also possibly though to differentiate him more from Maito, because
Oh yeah, because
nobody-
they share VA, don't
yes,
they?
and also Nobuo Kiyama's like Maito is significantly like deeper voice now than it was 20, 30 years ago when he did Maito originally. So it's more.
You know, it's a shame though.
It is.
Just real quick as an aside. Well, I mean that is a shame, but you know, it's a real shame though.
What?
So a lot of the King of Fighters characters' voices got recast, and he is no longer the voice of Joe, and I'm still fucking sad about
No
that.
longer the voice of Link. I think that's unacceptable.
Yeah, but I care less about that because Link doesn't have anything going on. He's Link. More like Stink. But yeah, because like while I was playing it, I looked it up later. But while I was playing Super Robot Wars, I'm like, isn't that like I had that moment like I know this voice, isn't that? And then I looked it up real quick. I was like, yeah, it is him.
yeah.
Yeah, Nobuo Kiyama's in fuckloads of stuff.
Although Banjo is using stock audio because his VA died
Yeah,
like
okay.
10 years ago.
Yeah, I was pretty sure.
But he's
that.
but he's using stock audio from like the 2000 to 2010. So it's not that old. They never use stock clips from the show. They can't for whatever reason. Like if they couldn't get somebody to re-record, they have to replace their voice unless they have like enough stock audio that they can just not bother. Because he was in this series for like 15 years before he died. So they're like, oh, we have enough.
I do like though that you get to recruit Black Mike Guine,
Yeah.
and I also enjoy that when you finally have him, they just painted his eyes green.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
He's a hero of justice now.
It actually did.
I
It
won't
actually
lie-
did happen in the show, but only for like a second.
And then he died.
Yeah, like in the second. The second the controlling thing comes off him before he like detaches and goes to self-destruct, like his eyes do turn green. So they didn't make that up.
Right.
What
not
they did,
the-
what they did make up is that him having this same stock footage finisher,
Yeah.
which he doesn't do in the show.
You never get a chance to use the driving wheel sword. Assuming
Well,
he had one.
he uses it, but he doesn't do the whole like hold it up, dramatic
the
close up as
full,
it turns
Like
yellow.
Tor!
Jump
that
into the air, back thrusters fire, slash down. He just kind of pulls it out and has a sword fight with it.
Poor Black Mike dying. But at least he.
I love that animation because my favorite part about it is no matter what you do it against, it always backs up, including battleships, and just makes me laugh when the battleship moves backwards.
Oh yeah, they all do that.
They back up and go, oh shit, is that a giant train robot with a sword coming at us? Oh, it is.
A couple games have that animation where like no matter who it is, they always do like oh no, even if it's like something that shouldn't logically be able to do that, like a battleship or.
I'm okay
a
with it.
tiny
It just
guy
makes
on foot.
They get
it makes me laugh.
well, if that makes you laugh, then be sure to do that attack against the main core when you do that mission, because that's like a moon-sized object, moon-sized spheroid doing that.
Good. Oh god, I do really like V. I am really liking it. I won't lie. I was sitting there cringing and laughing during the part where I was stuck in Cross Ange Land for a long time.
But it's great.
I've already decided on the three path split. I'm gonna do the Getter Mazinger that route.
Oh yeah, you'll like that one because that's when he
Cause you get them. You get to keep Mike Guine. Like I'm like yeah, of course I want to go
also
here.
you fight the fucking Mycenae Empire.
Ooh yes.
Or actually, I guess I say that you battle you battle but all of Zeus's brothers and sisters that you never got to actually see because Shin Mazinger never continued.
And I know you do get to I know like was it they do give Tatsuya a new robot.
Yeah.
I've looked at it. I like it.
Yeah, so he gets,
I like his new
he
robot.
gets the Getter Emperor, not Getter Emperor, Mazin Emperor.
Mazing
He
Emperor.
gets Mazin.
I enjoy it. It is so redonkulous.
Well, it's because for years, like, because the original intention behind Shin Mazinger was it was going to spawn like more Mazinger properties. Like there was plans to do like Shin Mazinger or Shin Great Mazinger, and they would have gone from there, but that never happened.
Shin Mazinger didn't do too well, I take.
No.
I mean, it did alright, but not like not fantastic. And
Not good enough to revive the franchise like they were hoping.
so yeah,
He
so the
wasn't.
plan-
He wasn't even.
And
he
that's
wasn't
what
even
and
in
that's
the
what they're
first
hope.
one. Like his great Mazinger here is just like them guessing what it would
Guessing.
look like and what it would do, because like he didn't actually do anything with it. And I think he was only in like one episode, and he just kind of like just poses menacingly and then leaves. And like we'll find out more about him later on.
much in the same way that Mars and Kaiser was made for Super Robot Wars because Mars and Kaiser needed something to keep up.
That's what the Getter Emperor
Yeah,
G
Getter
is.
Emperor
Not Getter, Amazing Emperor.
Buzzing Emperor G is that. It's literally just we're making this for Super Robot Wars, so Tetsuya's not just completely useless by the time you get by the time you get Zero.
Because Zero is busted.
Also like great is a unit you have from the start, so it's that thing where even though
It falls off at a point.
yeah, because it has to have like stat lines that are more in keeping with being a starting unit.
I still actually use Ryoko's robot a lot. It's actually, I don't know, it seems to be working good for me.
Well, bearing in mind, like especially if you get ace pilots people, that gives them added skills. So it's
Oh yeah, she's an ace.
yeah, so it's worth it. So it's that thing where every character has like a unique ability that comes from being an ace.
But yeah, she's been doing
The
fine.
better they get.
So
Also, like everyone has like has their own like levels, has like an individual level.
However, I'm forgetting his name. The other Vestiville pilot. I don't really. I kind of threw him out after a point, and only started using him again when I had to.
His unit trash.
Like I used him again during the cross-ange that route because I had to, but I kind of benched him for the most part.
Understandable.
But yeah, now that everybody's back, I kind of threw him back on the bench. Like, all right, you did your work. Go back on the bench. What? So do half of you from cross-ange. What? Yep, you
I
too.
will say,
Oh, also, Sabo, you made a mistake. Shin is actually the one with a team-up attack. He has a team-up with Luna Marie. Atherin has a team-up only with the spaceship.
No, he has a team up with Kira.
And his
Oh, I just haven't unlocked it yet, I
the
guess.
team up with Kira is like.
I think you have to be like literally right next to him.
Yeah, they have to be in like.
Yeah, I'm talking about even when they're right next
That's
to each other.
weird,
I haven't had it pop
They do
up.
have a combo attack.
Yeah, they
I've
definitely
seen
have a
it.
combo attack. It's strong.
Maybe I haven't unlocked it
It even
yet.
has a shout out to when like they reach to each other with their giant robot hands, like all homoerotic like.
Maybe I haven't unlocked it yet because I have them next to each other at all times and it never has popped up.
Weird. Oh wait, how you have to? Did it have to be seed to get it, or seed mode to get the access to use it?
It could be. Maybe his morale wasn't high enough.
Yeah, maybe you're not getting the.
Oh yeah, maybe they'd be in seed mode. I know Luna Marie and Shin get immediately. I only learned that they have that because one of the missions has Shin automatically deploy, and I put and I already had Luna Marie on the field, and then they were next to each other. I was like, oh, they have a team up
Yeah,
attack.
they do.
Yeah.
But it's not quite
does
as
Zambot,
powerful as
It's the general.
Well, actually, they have two
It's the problem of like the Destiny Gundam is weaker than the Strike Freedom.
because it's Kira's
The Strike
Gundam.
Freedom just has like a billion fucking moves, and they can all hit really hard and from a mile away. And also,
Yeah.
it's a hard unit. It's like the Cross-Ange thing, where like the Vilkit.
Cross-Ange is
Well, like
ridiculous.
Vilkis is an exceptionally powerful unit, but the main thing is, it's meant to be really strong and really fast and really hard to hit. But if you get hits once, it's basically dead. Like it's not it's possible to like make it tankier, but like not by enough that it's the you.
One thing that I gave my Vilkis was the ability to attack first when it's being attacked.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah, because Vilkit, there are some units that are just like that are just like bullet that are just like the AI targets like this relentlessly. Like I've noticed it happens a lot with Double Zeta and it happens a lot with Unicorn as well, or at least full armor Unicorn.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
They get-
I think it's funny when sometimes enemies will bypass things that are significantly weaker to attack Chitose, who at this point is fucking broken. And I'm just like, haha, you're just going to die. Why did you do
yeah,
this?
sometimes the AI is stupid like that.
Well, because the AI has limits. It basically relies on the fact that it has ridiculous defenses and stupid health bars. Become like a
Yeah, but then Chitose just one-shots them and laughs
Like,
all the way.
I was describing one of the final stages, which is, yeah, you've got to fight Embryo, but 5 of the embryos, and also they have like a stupid map attack. And also they can attack twice. And also they have like boss level health. Also, if you don't kill all 5 of them in one turn, they just respawn with full health.
I did enjoy a dumb thing that I did. Now that I've got Shin Getter back, it was I was in tank mode, and I used that thing where if you kill something, you get to move again.
Yeah.
So I transformed into the speed form, killed a guy with the tornado attack, then transformed back to a tank, just flew into a guy's face and threw them into fucking space.
Yeah.
It was just so much fun.
Yeah.
I love Shin Getter. It's like it's straight up like. For the audience, like, how Train is with Gal Gaigar, that's how I am with Shin Getter.
It helps that Shin Getter is one of the strongest units in the game, because not only does it have like lots and lots of packed with really good stats, it has 3 different forms that it can change to on the fly.
And each form is pretty fucking good.
The
The tank one's the weakest of the 3, but...
Getter 3 is like really not great,
But Getter 3 is always not great.
the main thing with Getter 2 is it's just fast, so it can cross the map faster than Getter 1 can, but Getter 1 has most of the really good abilities, like, you know, Spread of Sunshine, Getter Beam.
Right. Oh no, so Getter 1 is the strongest form, but the other forms are still pretty damn good.
Also Shin Getter having 3 pilots really helps it, because that's 3 different pools of spirits to draw from.
That you can use it, and it doesn't matter what form you're in, you can
And
just use
spirits
them.
are really the backbone of that game. That's why battleships are also important, because you have like 3 to 4 people on those things.
Even if you don't have them attack, their spirits are just fucking good.
Yeah. Except fucking Lacus's. Hers are all trash. Never use Never
Yeah.
use the Eternal. I will say.
I brought the Eternal once because I was like, oh, 4 pilots, and I'm like, this is shit. I shouldn't have brought
Yeah, the
this.
Eternal is probably the worst ship of Seed, which is why it's frustrating. This is the only one that's in half the time. Because
Like,
it
the
doesn't
only
have
benefit-
it doesn't have that big, you know, main cannon.
Well, it's not. It doesn't have like the goes cannon. That's pretty much like cannons. It doesn't have like. It's not tanky like
Yeah.
other battleships are. So it just exists and it just dies.
It
So you're saying is it Lacus in firepower?
Yeah.
yeah. It
Like, the best
exists.
thing
It
it has-
exists. It exists to deploy the meteors. That's about it.
So never use that.
Or do a team-up attack with
The
Athlon?
Desco does have.
Yeah, that's
I
the
think-
meteors. And it was especially useless in games when like you can just equip the meteors as like an actual equipment pack, because then they're like, well, Lacus, you're completely worthless. Get out of here.
like Jay. But the other thing that I also mentioned now I've forgotten. Shit. Something about capital shit. Oh, right. The other thing is like Nadesco has a really powerful ability called System Seizure.
Oh yeah, System Seizure is so
Which
good.
is basically, hey, all enemies take double damage this turn. Which is huge in terms of like completing some of these SR requirements.
Which was really funny. So in that map where you know, you do get Lacus's ship and the asshole who's obsessed with speed shows up. So right before it was gonna end and he was gonna show up, I almost hit the seizure button and I was like, nah, I don't really need this. Then they all showed up and I'm like, now I'll use it. And then just fucking cleaned house.
The main good battleships to use, apart from Yamato, which you should always use, and most
Yes.
of the time you're forced to use
Yep.
anyway.
Yamato is amazing.
Nadesco is like second best, and then it kind of just depends on what you value more. Like if you value just pure damage, Shin Getter is or
The dragon.
Shin Dragon's really strong. If you value like more sort of range of like abilities and actual having range attacks, because Shin Dragon has to get in close to do anything if you want it to be, especially because it has like Shine Spark with Shin Getter, which is a really powerful combo move. But yeah, if you want that, otherwise you want like the Argama.
I know, what was it? In, T, apparently what a lot of people consider the best support unit is Allenby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's the best one in V?
it's just pure support unit.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to say because easy to turn based.
Because I was using Guard Driver for a bit, but I'm curious if I want to switch it to Sayaka or not.
You definitely don't want to use Guard Driver. He is.
Is there one that can?
I no, I was using Guard Driver for a little bit for it, then he kind of fell off.
Is there one that can
And I stopped
restore
using
both
him.
energy and HP?
Oh, we can give anyone that thanks to the skill tree.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Like that's the thing with V.
Because I was thinking about turning Sayaka into like the main support.
The thing you want for support is you want someone who is like decently survivable. So either like has high evasion or like high defense, and B you want to give someone who's got like high mobility because you want them to be able to travel around. But other than that, you can just thanks to like the skill tree and like tact, you can convert anyone into a supporter. I use Ange as a supporter just because like Vilkis can cross the map on its own.
I've been using Ange like this aggressive like attack.
But like you still do that, but it's like she can also support. She protect, but also she destroy.
Man, it's a shame a unit that good isn't for a better fucking
I
series.
disagree. I think it's better that she's in this series because if Cross Ange was a good series, it would be forgettable. Because it's what it is. It's eternal.
Yes, pretty much. It's in a bad show, and that's great.
Yeah, it's because it's so...
No, I know. I said it's too bad. Like a unit, like in the game,
Oh,
like is like this, but from a good series.
I mean... No, they didn't make those units...
It's kind of like how the Strike Gundam is ridiculously good, but Gundam Seed is fucking trash.
They didn't make the units from the bad series any good, but people wouldn't use them.
I mean, Seed's fairly popular. I mean, me and you hate it, but Seed is really popular.
Yeah, should I let you in on the ultimate...
Sabo likes it, for God's sakes.
Of Seed. Seed is popular,
okay.
but it's not necessarily popular with Gundam fans.
And?
Like a large chunk of the people who watch and enjoy Seed are bored housewives basically.
Are you saying Sabo is a bored housewife?
No, because I actually like the mechanics in Seed.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying though, like Sabo.
Yeah, most of the Seed fans are just like, I just want to see Kira and Lacus stand on screen and be pretty. I don't really care what the robots do.
They're not even pretty. Look at their faces.
Well,
I mean, you're right. I get it, but I'm just like, how do they think they're pretty? Their faces are weird.
It's like how every episode, like they check the ratings, and like the ratings for Seed Destiny when it was airing live on TV, the ratings always spiked every episode Kira was in, even if he didn't actually do anything, but just like stand there and like say a couple sentences. So it's like Seed isn't popular because of Gundam. Seed is popular because of Kira.
I don't understand how people can be into him. He's so boring.
Because Seed aired at a very particular time when
like if we're gonna stand over a Gundam pilot like that, come on, Judo's right there, and he's an absolute Chad.
Judo also wasn't like. Remember, Judo was like airing at a different time in where like perceptions were different. Like it's partially like because Kira's like classic Shonen archetype. There's also like anime became a slightly more like socially acceptable thing for people who want children to watch.
Yeah, basically.
Like, it's kind of like how Kamen Rider decided to push for like more younger, attractive casts because hey, guess what? Housewives who are stuck at home will also watch this show because people are pretty. That's kind of the secret of Seed.
And that's why we'll never have a cool Kamen Rider fight girl. Damn.
We've had Yua and 01.
And then they die.
Yeah, Yua's still alive.
Give her time.
I mean, they didn't kill the one in.
They won't give her a cool transformation though.
They didn't. I mean, there's also the one in Zeon, and she didn't die. Well, okay, she died, but everyone died and then came back because timey-wimey bullshit.
Alright. This is a good place to stop because we're almost an hour in. So we'll see you guys next time for more of this. Probably next one will be the last one, I think. Because we're on Solomon now. Like Solomon I just started. But after last time where the final mission took for so long, I don't want to risk trying to push like another like handful of missions. And then, get fucked. So I'll see you guys next time. Have a good day.